Hey everybody, Kevin Rose here. I am here today with Ben, who is the co-founder and CEO of Chomp, and you have a big announcement coming out. You're announcing your Android application.
Chomp for Android.
That's awesome. Before we get into that though, I wanted to take a step back and talk about search and app search in particular on iTunes and the Android marketplace. A lot of people think that, you go to the iTunes, you go to the top 50 list, they find the app that they want, they find their Angry Birds, they install it, they're done. Why do you think that search is broken? And maybe we can jump into some examples as well.
Yeah, totally. So I don't think anyone was expecting that there would be hundreds of thousands of apps being downloaded literally billions of times a year. We've gone from like 300 million downloads, app downloads on iPhone in 2009 to like more than 8 billion last year. I don't think anyone was expecting that many downloads. No one was expecting hundreds of thousands of apps. No one was like thinking that this would be like the new way to consume the internet on like your mobile devices through this app experience. Mm-hmm. So it's blowing up. And basically, as you said, right now, people are just kind of browsing for apps, and that's how you do it. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they do that is because there's no other really good way to discover applications.
Right. Friend recommendations, browsing top lists, but then the third way, which is the piece that you're tackling, which is interesting, is like if you don't have that stuff and you're searching for something, how do you find the right stuff?
Yeah, so to give you an example, if we go into iTunes right now and I do a search for restaurant guides, basically by doing a search for restaurant guides, because iTunes is sort of searching the app's description and the app name and the keywords that developers are submitting, that data is not really a good set of data for them to search across. So if I type in the name of an application like Facebook, it'll find me the Facebook application. But if I type in something like restaurant guides,
generic terms for that type of app,
music, expense trackers, puzzle games, kids games, whatever I'm wanting an app to do for me, it returns back like really bizarre search results.
You're getting some Paris guides here, some Berlin guides. None of these are even apply to me here in the States. So that's clearly not good. How about on the Android market?
Well, I think everyone kind of expects that Google would really nail kind of searching for apps.
You think so? Yes.
So if we go, so Android Marketplace is now available, market.android.com. You can go there and like browse and search the store. So if I go there and I'll do a search for email, again, I would expect after doing a search for email that I would see like maybe Gmail, given the fact that like this is Google's Android marketplace. But instead we're seeing like search results like WAV player and ultimate point calculator and like advanced task killer, like just bizarre stuff in the search results. But it's not just for these native apps that we're seeing like totally broken app search. If you go across to chrome.google.com/web store, which is their new HTML5 web store that's sort of built into Chrome browsers, search on that is totally bizarre as well. So to go back to our restaurant guides example, do a search here for restaurant guides, and again, you can see even for these HTML5 apps, not just the native ones, totally bizarre search results. We've got here like KQED video. It's bizarre. It's like the web in the late 90s when you were searching Yahoo and getting these like totally mixed search results.
So talk to me, like, let's get geeky for a little second here. Like, talk to me about what's different between this and a web page, because clearly Google is very good at web search, right? You would think, okay, an application is almost like a web page. It has a title, a description, it's got some keywords associated with it. Why can they not figure this out?
So developers do a really bad job of explaining what their product actually does. And so when you looked, if we go back in time, we look at the web, I mean, I'm sure you remember that first moment when you searched Google the first time and the results were awesome.
Right.
Well, setting aside, if you look at how and why that was really great, one of the big breakthroughs was actually anchor text. And so anchor text is when I link to your website and I'm describing to my users why they should click this link and go to your website.
Right. It gives it authority for that keyword to my site.
Right, so it looks at that as a better understanding of what your web page is about, the aboutness of that web page, and so that helps us generate a set of results. And then if we look at the number of pages that are linking to that, that's where PageRank comes in, and we can then rank a set of results and make them highly relevant.
Right.
But if you were just searching the data and the information that was on just your website and that alone, It's hard to rank. It's hard to produce any kind of relevant search results. It just doesn't work. And that's the difference that you went from going from Yahoo to Google. And so the problem for HTML5 apps and the problem for native apps is there is no anchor text and there is no links going in between them. And so these web search algorithms just completely don't work.
So you're writing new custom algorithms from scratch to tackle this kind of stuff?
Yeah, we've been working on it for about a year now, and we have like quite a big team that's just 100% focused on this problem. And so we've developed a whole new algorithm, filed patents on it, and basically what that algorithm does is it takes this data, it takes the app description, takes the app name. We basically have to get a copy of everything that's on iTunes. And then we have to produce a whole new set of data. And in that new data, that data basically describes the topic and function of every single app.
They can do the same thing for Android too, got a copy of all their data.
And we have to do this completely algorithmically. So there's no like human editors in there like figuring stuff out. Yeah, it's completely algorithmic. It's proprietary to us and something that we've been working on for a year now.
Show me some examples. So let's go to chomp.com.
So this is the new Chomp.com website. It does iPhone and does Android as of today. And basically you can select here like all apps or iPhone or Android. I'm going to leave it on Android. And so I guess let's do a search for music. And if I do a search for music, you can see here you've got like Pandora Radio is like number 1, Shazam is number 2, you know, and a bunch of other sort of great music apps here. And so, again, the way this is working is when I do a search for music, it's looking at this new set of data that our algorithm has generated to produce the search results. And then we actually do a whole lot of cool things around ranking as well. Basically, one of the main signals we use for ranking is we look at the newness of an application, how long has it been available for, and we also look at user sentiment. And so we give that a score, and that's one of the signals, one of the primary signals we use for ranking. But the real secret sauce is in this algorithm that understands the topic and function of every app, which is what it's allowing us to
That's awesome.
Results.
One of the things that's been challenging for me is, you know, I've had an Android phone in the past, and when I jumped on the platform, I didn't immediately have any other friends that were using the Android platform. So I had a bunch of iPhone friends, and it was easy, like, hey, what are you using for this? What are you using for that? I got those recommendations from them. But on Android, it's really hard to find those good apps. And so I think this is going to be a very popular application. Can we take a look at the application?
Yeah, definitely. So me too. Like, I think Android's really cool. I've you know, I've got a Nexus S like right here. But one of my big problems was I jump onto Android Marketplace and be like, okay, I'm looking for some cool games right now, some novelty apps, something just to have a laugh at, share with friends, whatever. And just have always found it a real struggle to find good apps. And so bringing Chomp onto Android is, I think, going to be a really big deal. And I think for a lot of people, and I know I've already said this, I think for a lot of people it's going to be like going from Yahoo to Google in terms of like being able to find really great stuff, not on the web, but in the Android Marketplace this time. So the first thing is we've got this like really cool search widget that you can install on your Android phone, and it remembers the last search that you put in. Basically open it up. As you know, we do a lot of user testing at Chomp, and we like obsess over the design of every aspect of the product. But here, this obviously looks just so much better than anything we've built before. This has had the biggest team working on this particular project. Our team's growing a lot at the moment. I think this looks really awesome. A lot of people, when they first open it up, are just excited to see something that just seems clear and obvious as to how you use it. So again, opening it up, we can just type in like kids games or even kids. Maybe you want some stuff for your kids, and you can see here a whole bunch of like great apps for kids. We can see at the bottom of the screen here, we've got like related searches. That's so awesome. Things like children's games, we can sort of expand the search through other sort of related searches.
And you're showing the screenshot right away, which I think is key. Because, you know, sometimes in these result sets, you'll see like names and an icon, but you have no idea. I judge quality of an application oftentimes by the first screenshot or the actual gameplay screenshots, you know?
Yeah, we've found that, that a lot of people say that, and we've found that when you do an app search, it's really like a product search. And so if you imagine Google's very much an information search experience where you just see a whole lot of like blue links. Whereas when you're on Amazon or when you're on like a place that is, has products, people want to see that product. They want to like, see this big, beautiful image of like, what does that thing look like? What's it going to be like? It allows them to compare, different products between others really quickly, get a feel for whether, they want to get it or not. So our search results page is like totally tailored to doing that.
Gotcha.
And as soon as you find something that you like, if you hit the Get It button, it just takes you straight into the Android marketplace.
That's awesome.
Really
so no leaving the application, launching something else, trying to find the Android store. It's like all integrated into the app. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then once you download the application, it then takes you straight back into Chomp and says, yep, that's downloading in the background, and you can keep on browsing around, keep on searching.
Awesome. So where do they get the app?
Chomp.com. I can't believe we got that URL, chomp.com.
That's
really
amazing.
excited.
Very cool. So full disclosure, I am an advisor to Chomp, but the only reason I am is because you're building such cool stuff.
Thank you.
So thanks for being on, and we'll talk soon.
Cool.